my name is Kirti. In previous video, I have taught you the theoretical portion of Lindemann theory of unimolecular gaseous reactions. So in this video, we are going to solve few problems related to that topic. So if you have not watched the theoretical portion, I'll provide the link in the description. First you go through that video and then you come to this video to attempt these problems. But if you already know if you already have the idea of this theory, you can directly solve the problems. So let's start. So the first question says, in the Lindemann mechanism of unimolecular reaction, the observed order at low concentration is. So they are asking about the order of the unimolecular reaction at low concentration. We know that Lindemann gave two steps to explain the mechanism of gaseous reactions which we have already discussed in the theory portion. And in the first step, gas molecule A collides with the other gas molecule A to give this energized molecule A star plus A. Now this A star will give products. So the rate constant of this step is K1, the rate constant of this reverse step is K minus 1 and the rate constant of second step is given by K2. So this is the mechanism proposed by Lindemann for unimolecular gaseous reactions. And we derived the rate for unimolecular gaseous reactions as, so the rate was given as, it's K1, K2, A square by K minus 1, A plus K2. So the order of any reaction can be obtained from the rate law or rate equation. And the rate equation for unimolecular gaseous reaction is given by this formula from Lindemann theory. So now we are asked to find the order at low concentration. So when the concentration of A is low, this entire term K minus 1 into A will be very less when compared to K2. So now you can neglect this term. K minus 1 into A can be neglected in comparison to K2. So what will be the rate? So the rate will be given by K1, K2 into A square by K2, okay? Because K minus 1 A is neglected. So we know that K1 is a constant, K2 is a constant and, okay, you can do one thing here, you can cancel K2. Now what you have is K1 into A square, okay? So K2 got cancelled. What you are left with is K1 into A square. So can I write it as rate is proportional to the concentration of A to the power 2, right? So the rate is proportional to the A square. So the order of the reaction is 2 when this low concentration condition is considered. Suppose if you are asked to find the order of the unimolecular reaction at high concentration, what will you do? At high concentration, this term will be high, okay? So at high concentration, when A is high, K minus 1 into A will be far greater when compared to K2, okay? So in this case, you can neglect K2. So this is at low concentration. At high concentration, rate is equal to K1, K2 into A square by, so here you have to neglect K2 because concentration of A is high. Okay, so when I neglect K2, I am left with K minus 1 into A. So now I can cancel this A. What I am left with? K1 into K2 by K minus 1 into A. So we know that K1 is a constant, K2 is a constant and K minus 1 is also a constant. So I will write this entire term as K. So the rate becomes, so I will write it here. At high concentration, rate is equal to K into concentration of the reactant to the power 1. So in high concentration condition, the order of the reaction becomes equal to 1. how you solve this problem. So let's solve the second question. So the second question is a unimolecular gaseous reaction follows the mechanism. So the mechanism for unimolecular gaseous reaction is given. So from here you can clearly see that you can apply Lindemann theory to solve this question. Okay. For this reaction, the first order rate constant at high pressure is K infinity. So you are given the information on first order rate constant. So in a while we will see what is first order rate constant. Okay. So there is one more information given. The first order rate constant becomes K infinity by 2 when the pressure of A is A half. Find K1. Now we are asked to find the value of rate constant of this step. So this K1 is also sometimes called rate constant of activation step. So K1 or rate constant of activation step means the same. Okay. Even if in exam they ask rate constant, they ask to find the rate constant of activation step. For that you need to find K1 only. Okay. So okay. So the information is given on first order rate constant. We'll see what is first order rate constant. So in the previous theoretical portion, we have already seen that rate is given by K1, K2 into A square by K minus 1 A plus K2. Okay. Okay. There is one more important thing here. We are asked to find K1, right? But here they have given the value of A and A half. So we need to find K1 in terms of, they have given value of K infinity and A half. So we need to find K1 in terms of K infinity and A half. Okay. So this is the theoretical rate law, and the experimental rate law for unimolecular reaction is given by rate is equal to K dash into A. So this rate constant of experimental rate law is called first order rate constant, or sometimes it is also called effective rate constant. Okay. So how do you get the value of first order rate constant or effective rate constant? On comparison of this theoretical and experimental rate law. See, if I remove this A square and write it as A into A and compare these two equations, so what will I get? So I can write rate is equal to K dash into A, right? So by comparing these two equations, we can get K dash as K1, K2 into A by K minus 1 into A plus K2. Okay. So we have to modify this a bit. Now to modify this, I am dividing the numerator and denominator by K minus 1 into A. So what do I get? K1, K2 into A by K minus 1 into A whole divided by K minus 1 into A by K minus 1 into A plus K2 by K minus 1 into A. So I have done nothing. I have just divided numerator and denominator by K minus 1 into A. Actually, this derivation is already been done in theory portion. Okay. So first you need to watch that video to solve this problem. Okay. I can cut this A. I can cancel this term also. Now what we are left with is K dash is equal to K1, K2 by K minus 1 whole divided by 1 plus K2 by K minus 1 into A. So this expression of K dash will be very useful to solve this problem. So this derivation is already done. So I will rub this here. what did they say? At high pressure, the first order rate constant is K infinity. So K dash is K infinity at high pressure. At high pressure. So we know that pressure is analogous to concentration for gases. So concentration means pressure for gases, okay? So at high pressure means at high concentration. So at high concentration what happens? This term becomes large. So when this term becomes large, this K2 by K minus 1 into A becomes very small. So when this term becomes very small in comparison to 1, so this term can be neglected and the value of K dash will be K1 K2 by K minus 1 over 1. So that is K1 K2 by K minus 1. So K infinity is K1 K2 by K minus 1. Okay. So this is one expression that we got for K infinity. Now what did they say again? The first order rate constant becomes K infinity by 2 when the pressure of A is A half. So when, okay, I'll write it here. When A is equal to A half, K dash is equal to K infinity by 2. Okay. So the first order rate constant becomes K infinity by 2 when A is equal to A half. Now let us see from this equation, when will K dash become K infinity by 2? So we know that K infinity is K1 K2 by K minus 1. K1 K2 by K minus 1. So the numerator is K infinity. So the denominator should become 2, right? For K dash to become K infinity by 2, the denominator should become 2. So here you already have 1. So this should become equal to 1. So 1 plus 1 becomes 2. So for this to become 2, this K minus 1 should be equal to K2. So if this becomes equal to K2, K2 will get cancelled and we will get 1 plus 1, 2, K infinity by 2. So K minus 1, A should be equal to K2, right? So K dash becomes K infinity by 2 when K minus 1 into A becomes equal to K2. So at this point we know that A is equal to A half. So this A will be equal to A half. So what is the value of A half that you get from here? That will be equal to K2 by K minus 1. So I'll write it here. A half is equal to K2 by K minus 1. So this we obtained from this condition. Okay, A half is K2 by K minus 1. So now let us see when will this term become K2 by K minus 1. When I divide it with K1, this term will also become K2 by K minus 1. So I'll divide K infinity by K1. So what will I get? K1 gets cancelled and this becomes K2 by K minus 1. So A half is equal to K2 by K minus 1 and K2 by K minus 1 is equal to K infinity by K1. K infinity by K1. So why am I writing this K2 by K minus 1 in terms of K infinity by K1? Because I need to find the value of K1 and that too in terms of K infinity and A half because only those values are given in the question. So from here K1 is equal to, so from these two equations, when K1 goes here, A half will go in the denominator. So K1 will be K infinity by A half. So this is the expression for K1 in terms of K infinity and A half. So this is how you solve the problem. So let us solve the third question. The question is, the isomerization of cyclopropane follows Lindemann mechanism and is found to be unimolecular. The rate constant at high pressure is this much and at low pressure is this much. The pressure at which rate changes its order. So you need to find the pressure at which the rate changes the order. So we know that rate law for unimolecular gaseous reaction by Lindemann is given by this equation. That is K1 K2 into A square by K minus 1 into A plus K2. So we know that for gases, concentration is equivalent to pressure. So I can write this equation in terms of pressure as K1, K2 into PA square, where PA represents the pressure of the gas A, by K minus 1 PA. So I am replacing concentration with pressure plus K2. So you can write this rate also in this form. Okay. So now you are given two rate constants. Mind you, these are rate constants, not effective rate constants. So what is effective rate constant? You get effective rate constant when you compare this theoretical rate equation with experimental rate equation, that is R is equal to K dash into A. So this is effective rate constant. But you are given only rate constants. So you need to consider only theoretical rate. So the condition is high pressure. So let us consider this condition as high pressure. So at high pressure, what will happen? K minus 1 into PA will be far greater than K2. So this K minus 1 into PA will be greater than K2. So this term can be neglected. So when this is greater than K2, this term can be neglected. Sorry, K2 can be neglected and you can write K1, K2, PA square. So this is greater than K2. So K2 can be neglected in denominator. So K minus 1 into PA. So here one PA gets cancelled and you will have K1, K2 by K minus 1 into PA. So we know that K1, K2 and K minus 1 are constants. So I can write this entire term as K star. So the rate will be equal to, so the rate is K star into PA at high pressure. So we know that the rate constant at high pressure is this much. So the value of K star will be 1.5 into 10 power minus 4 second inverse. So 1.5 into 10 power minus 4 second inverse. And at low pressure is this much. Let us see what is the rate at low pressure. So at low pressure, rate is equal to, so what can we do? At low pressure, K minus 1 into PA will be far less than K2. So the condition will be reversed, that is K minus 1 into PA will be far less than K2. So what will happen here? This term can be neglected now. So when you neglect this term, what will you get? K1, K2, PA square over, this is neglected and you will get K2. So K2, K2 will be cancelled. What will you have? K1 into PA square. So the rate constant at low pressure is given by 6 into 10 power minus 6 torr inverse second inverse. So here K1 is, I'll write it here, K1 is 6 into 10 power minus 6 torr inverse second inverse. So now you have two rate constants, K star and K1. So now you are asked to find the pressure at which rate changes its order. That means you need to find the pressure at which rate becomes first order to second order or second order to first order, right? So let PA dash be the pressure at which first order transitions to second order. Okay. So PA dash is the pressure at which first order rate is transition to second order rate. So at this PA dash, first order rate will be equal to second order rate. So during this transition, both the rates will be equal. So what will be the first order rate during the transition? So it will be, so what was the first order rate? Here, K star into PA. So this is first order, this is second order. Okay. So first order rate will be K star into PA dash, because PA dash is the pressure at which this transition is happening. So the second order rate will be K1 into PA dash square. Okay. this is the condition. So now you can cancel this one term PA with this term here, and you'll get, I'll write it here, you'll get K star is equal to K1 into PA dash. Now we need to find this PA dash. So PA dash is equal to K star by K1. So what is K star? We know that it is 1.5 into 10 power minus 4 second inverse. And what is K1? 6 into 10 power minus 6 torr inverse second inverse. So this is torr, okay? Pardon my handwriting. This is torr. Torr inverse second inverse. So I can cancel the second inverse. So 6 2s are 12. So 0.6 2s are 12. 6 5s are 30. So you have 0.25 into, when this 10 power minus 6 goes to the numerator, minus 4, 10 power minus 4 plus 6 becomes 10 power 2, that is 100. So 0.25 into 100 is 25. So what torr inverse will go to the numerator and become TORR, torr, okay. So this PA dash is 25 torr. So I will write it here. PA dash is equal to 25 torr. So this is how we solve this problem. Now let us solve the fourth question. So the question is, for a unimolecular gas-phase reaction, the effective rate constants at two different initial concentrations but at same temperature are this much and this much. So they have given two effective rate constants at two different concentrations, okay. The rate constant in decimeter cube mole inverse second inverse for activation step is. Now they are asking us to find the rate constant of activation step. So I have already told you there are two steps in the Lindemann mechanism. In the first step, a gas molecule collides with other gas molecule to give this energized A star and de-energized A. And in the second step, this A star will give rise to product. So the rate constant in this direction is K1 and in this direction will be K minus 1. And the rate constant for second step is K2. So I already told you the rate constant of activation step is nothing but K1. So the K1 is called rate constant of activation step because this step is the activation step in which A star is being formed. So we need to find K1. So how do we do that? So they have given the effective rate constants. And I already told you we get the effective rate constant K dash by comparing the experimental and theoretical rate law. Okay. So in the second question we have found the equation for K dash and it was K dash is equal to K1 K2 A by K minus 1 into A plus K2. So this was the equation of effective rate constant. So this we get by comparing theoretical and experimental rate law for unimolecular gaseous reactions. Now we are given two rate constants. So I will consider it as K dash 2. So this is K dash 1. So this concentration will become A2 and this will become A1. So K dash 2 is 2 into 10 power minus 2 second inverse. K dash 1 is 4 into 10 power minus 3 second inverse. A2 is 5 into 10 power minus 3 mole decimeter per decimeter cube. And A1 is 1 into 10 power minus 3 mole decimeter cube. So this is 5. Okay. So we know that there can be a plot between 1 by K dash. So in theory portion we have seen this plot 1 by K dash versus 1 by A. So what is 1 by K dash? So 1 by K dash will be, I need to invert this, okay? So it becomes k minus 1 into a plus k2 by k1 k2 into a. Now I will split this, okay? So after splitting, I will get k minus 1 into a by k1 k2 into a plus k2 by k1 k2 into a. So here I can cancel a, okay, and from here I can cancel k2. So I get 1 by So 1 by k dash is equal to k minus 1 by k1 into k2 plus 1 by k1 into 1 by a. So suppose if this is y and this is x, so this is y and this is x, this will be m plus c. So this is y is equal to mx plus c. This is a straight line equation with positive slope. So the slope here is 1 by k1. Sorry, 1 by k dash. So if you find 1 by slope, you will get the value of k dash. Okay. So how do we find the slope of this line? So you are given k2 dash and k1 dash. Okay. From there, you can find 1 by k dash 1 and 1 by k dash 2. So this will be y2, this will be y1. And from a2 and a1, you can find 1 by a2 and 1 by a1. So 1 by a2 and 1 by a1. So you have two x coordinates, 1 and 2. So this will be x2, this will be x1. So when you are given two y coordinates and two x coordinates, how do you find the slope of a straight line? So you can find slope by doing y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Okay. Now you just have to substitute the values of k dash 2 and k dash 1 and a1 and a2 in this expression. So let us do that. So slope is 1 by k dash. So slope is equal to 1 by k dash, and here the slope is y2 minus y1. What is 1 by y2? 1 by k dash 2. What is k dash 2? 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 2. Second inverse. This is y2 minus 1 by, what is k dash 1? K dash 1 is 4 into 10 power minus 3 second inverse by 1 by x2. What is x2? 1 by a2. What is a2 here? 5 into 10 power minus 3 mole decimeter power minus 3 minus, what is a1 here? 1 into 10 power minus 3 mole decimeter power minus 3. Okay. So this is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So y is 1 by k dash. So 1 by k dash 2 1 minus 1 by k dash 1 by 1 by a2 minus 1 by a1. So if you solve this, have I substituted correct values? Yeah. This is correct. Okay. Even if you get the negative value, you can take the mod and make the slope positive, because we already know that the slope of this equation will be positive. So when you get this value, value is x. So you need to solve it by yourself. Okay, suppose we got this as x. Slope is 1 by, slope is 1 by k1. Okay, this is 1 by k1, not k dash. Slope is 1 by k1. Suppose it is x. If you get x after solving this, then k1 will be 1 by x. Okay. So you need to use the calculator and do this calculation. I'll give you the answer. The answer will be, I think it will be 4. Yeah, it will be 4 decimeter cube mole inverse, mole inverse second inverse. So if you do this calculation, calculation, you'll get some value, and if you take the inverse of that value, you will get the value for k1. Okay, so this is not x, this is k1. So k1 will be 4 decimeter cube mole inverse second inverse. You can do it by yourself, and if you have any problem or if the answer is wrong, please let me know in the comment section. Let me explain this question again. So they have given two values of effective rate constants and their corresponding concentrations. So we know the equation for k dash. So from there we got the equation for 1 by k dash. Okay. And we know that there exists a plot between 1 by k dash and 1 by a, and we know that this plot is a straight line with slope of 1 by k1. So from here you can find the rate constant of the activation step which has been asked in the question. So to find the rate constant, you need to find the slope. So how do you find the slope? So to find the slope, you need to have 2 points. Okay. Suppose this is 1 by k dash 2 and this is 1 by k dash 1. You need to have a1 and a2. So you need to have 2 values of k dash and 2 values of the concentration. So from there you can find the slope using y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. This formula. So you have 1 by k dash 2 minus 1 by k dash 1, 1 by a2 minus 1 by a1. Even if you get the slope negative, you can use the mod to make it positive, because we know that the slope of this curve or this graph is positive. So from the slope, we know that slope is 1 by k1. So from this value of slope, you can find the value of k1. Okay, if slope is x, k1 will be 1 by x. So the answer for this question will be this much, 4 decimeter cube mole inverse second inverse. And if you do not get this answer, please let me know in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.